Let's start with reaction to the win last night. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez beating out Joe Crowley in what is considered an upset reminiscent of Eric Cantor on the Republican side 4 years ago.
She ran a fantastic campaign. And I think at the end of 2018, when you see remarkable results for Democrats across the country, the role of women leading the charge is going to be a big part of the story of 2018. She was a firebrand. She talked about the issues that mattered most in their districts, and I have great respect for Joe Crowley as well. He was one of the original supporters of Medicare for All among the leadership in the Democratic Party, and she came forward in a remarkable fashion. And another example of the energy we see across America. This is I think this is an exciting time for the movement, and we see this all over the country.
Let's talk about that energy and what it means for the party as a whole, Chairman Perez, because I'm wondering if this victory by Ocasio-Cortez signals to you a frustration with where Democratic leadership is right now, whether this is a sign coming from progressives, coming from some Democrats, that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer needs to step aside and let in some new blood.
Well, time will tell what happens in that front. But what I think we've seen in elections across the country are candidates who won by focusing on the issues that were keeping their constituents up at night. Alexandria focused on so many issues that were front and center in her very diverse community. A few months back, Connor Lamb was focusing on the right to form a union, the pension security, things of that nature. And he was prescient in the sense that the Supreme Court this morning is making it harder for public sector labor unions to organize. And so what I'm seeing in the candidates that we've been out there working with and observing is that they're really focused like a laser on how to improve the lives of people. They want to make sure that they're making lives better for folks.
I want to be sure to be able to have some time to talk with you about the Supreme Court decision we mentioned at the top of the show. But before I do, a couple more quick questions for you here.
Sure.
So you said time will tell when it comes to the future of the leadership in Congress of the Democratic Party. Name some names. Who would you like to see potentially step into a Democratic leadership role, if not Nancy Pelosi?
Well, I'll leave that to other people. I'll tell you what my focus is.
Well,
it's on making sure we have to make sure we're winning in November. Because, again, it's important to understand that the playing field in so many of these congressional races is not level because of the partisan gerrymander and the racial gerrymander in some cases, like Texas. And so we're focused like a laser on helping to win these races, making sure we are leading with our values. We're organizing early. We're organizing everywhere. And I'm proud of the work we've been able to do at the DNC over the course of the last 17 months, not only in the federal races, but in state and local races as well.
Given that, does this a signal to the DNC? Will you do some soul searching and perhaps have the DNC put their finger on the scale for some of these more progressive candidates in areas where you think they could be more successful?
Well, listen, I'm proud of the people that we've been supporting across the board. We were out with Hallie who ran a spirited campaign in the 8th Congressional District of Arizona. And she came up just short, but she's running again in November. And we're going to continue to work with her because she's a spectacular candidate. So we're going to continue to be supporting candidates. And the platform of the Democratic Party, we're about fighting for good jobs. We're about fighting for health care. We're about fighting for women's economic empowerment. We're about fighting for our future, and frankly, we're about fighting for our democracy.
So
that's how we're winning.
Then very quickly, before I move on, Chairman Perez, given that you talked about the endorsements that the DNC has made, somebody that you endorsed that created a lot of consternation among the progressive wing of the party was Andrew Cuomo in the New York governor's race. Cynthia Nixon, of course, has embraced almost literally Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Perhaps Cuomo is waking up a little more nervous this morning about his race. Do you still think Cuomo is the best representative of New York, given this decisive victory for this fresh female face, as you've described her?
Well, as I've said a number of times, I've known both the Cuomo and the Hochul family, Kathy Hochul, the lieutenant governor, for over 20 years. My brother lives down the street from the Hochuls in Buffalo. And when you have a friendship of that long, those things matter for me. And so it was a personal endorsement, but I haven't been involved in the campaign, and the voters will choose. And I'm thrilled for the energy that's out there, both last night that we saw and throughout America. Democrats, the enthusiasm is on our side, and the ideas are on our side. We're fighting for good jobs. We're fighting for health care. We're fighting for for the right to organize a union. We're fighting for women's economic empowerment. That's what we're doing.
On the union front, big blow to public sector unions, as Pete Williams just explained, coming down from the Supreme Court at the top of the show. What can you do? What can Democrats do? Where do you go from here?
We have to elect more Democrats. What we have seen over the course of the last month. Do you see this as a mobilizing
issue? You think people are actually going to show up come November because of this decision?
Absolutely. This is a blow to unions, and it's a blow to the middle class. And it is part of an absolutely unmistakable pattern from this administration to make it harder for working people to organize. And it's in this decision. You look at this decision. You look at the gerrymandering decision. You look at the voter purge case of a week or so ago. You look at a case on women's reproductive health. What we know now is that this stolen fifth seat has wreaked havoc on basic values. We saw yesterday with the Muslim ban as well. And what we have to do, we do not have a check and balance in the Supreme Court right now. We do not have a check and balance in the Republican leadership in the House or the Senate. The party of Lincoln is dead, replaced by the party of Trump. And so what we have to do, the most important thing we can do, is elect Democrats this November. And that's what we're doing, because we need a check and balance. This is the most dangerous president in American history. It's harder to form a union. It's harder to make ends meet. It's harder to get health care. It's harder for women to get access to reproductive health. And you know what? That's wrong. And that's why we're going to fight, because this is an assault on our fundamental premises of our democracy.
Chairman Tom Perez, very quickly before I let you go, I got to clarify, because I didn't hear a clear answer from you. Should Nancy Pelosi, is she the right leader to lead the Democratic Party into the future? Yes or no?
Well, listen, that'll be up for the Democratic leadership to decide. I have great respect for Leader Pelosi. She has done great work for the Affordable Care Act exists because of Nancy Pelosi. It's important to remember that. And she has done a lot of work to make sure that these excesses of this Trump administration are held in check as best as we can.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.